an avid traveler, there are a lot of places I want to see, but just not enough time to see them all. That's why I'm embarking on a new adventure, to visit as many places as I can in as little time as I can. Welcome to my In a Day series, where I take a very quick trip to show you some of the coolest places in the country in, well, just a day. The second installment of our In a Day series brings us to Seattle, Washington for my first visit to the Emerald City and the Pacific Northwest. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my In a Day series. Today we're here in Seattle, Washington. You can see right behind me here the famous Space Needle, which we'll get to a little later today in today's video. Currently 6:45 in the morning. Been awake for quite a while since this is 3 hours behind my normal time over on the East Coast. But super excited to get this day started in Seattle. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe down below. We have a lot more of these In a Day series videos coming to the channel very, very soon. First stop today is the original Starbucks location. I'm headed down to Pike's Place right now to check that out, get some coffee, maybe grab some breakfast. So come on, let's get our day in Seattle started. So we've made it. This is it. This is Pike Place Market. Just a large outdoor market with many vendors, of course, world famous.
I don't like that at all. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Good. They're like, it's too early for this. Yeah.
So this is it, established in 1971, the original Starbucks location. And you see it's a little bit different than what you'd expect from a Starbucks. Over there, see the menu is all handwritten. So pretty cool. So scored the Starbucks coffee here in Pike Place, and surprisingly there was no line. The line is actually, see right around the corner, is actually here for the French pastry Le Panier, which is just right over there. So it must be pretty good. Here's the entrance to Pike Place, and just right across the street here is a Starbucks, another Starbucks, an actual Starbucks store like you would anticipate seeing in most American cities, or major American cities that is. So if I guess if the line's too long over here on Pike Place, you can at least walk by it and say you saw it and then come get you a Starbucks across the street. There's also a Target over there. The Pike Place Market's too much for you. So I noticed in Pike Place, which is back down this way, there aren't really any tables or anywhere to sit down. So if you got coffee or, you know, any pastries or anything like that to eat, nowhere to sit. However, I did discover just back here, a little ways from Pike Place, there's this little park right over here, and they do have benches overlooking the waterfront in Seattle. So you might consider coming over here and having a seat, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm now standing out on Pier 66. Back here behind me is actually Pike Place where we just were. So I just came north a little bit from there. It's exceedingly windy out here. So I hope you can hear me okay. But you have great views you can see behind me of Seattle. So if you want to come get some pictures out here, I'll pan around and you can see even, where's it at? There it is, the Space Needle there. So you can get some really good pictures from Pier 66. But it's very windy today and it's very cold. But the view, you just can't beat it. Where are my cruisers at? I know you guys are out there. Look right here at Pier 66 is actually a cruise terminal. So here is where not Carnival and some of the more major cruise lines are to the north on Pier 91, and that's further up that way. But you see that gangway here and a pretty big pier for a ship to dock next to. So that's pretty exciting to see where the cruises dock in Seattle. It's so windy up here, but look at these views. This is crazy, the views that you get out here. Let's look over this way. Looking to the south, you can see down there Lumen Stadium and T-Mobile Park. Way down there, there's the big Ferris wheel. We gotta get off this pier. It's so windy and cold. It's about 55 degrees currently, but check this out and get some pictures. Hopefully it's not so darn windy when you come. So I may have found my new favorite piece of artwork anywhere. This umbrella up here that actually rotates with the wind direction. That is so cool. And back behind it there is actually Cloudburst Brewing, so pretty neat. Weather art, we love it. And of course, a lot of you might be wondering about the name of my channel, Adventures in Coriolis. Coriolis is actually a weather term. I'm very fascinated by meteorology and the weather. Yeah, so now here's the line for Starbucks. So the later that you wait in the day, the more likely you are to have to wait in a line here. So come early. I'm just gonna check out a little bit more of the market itself and what all you might be able to expect to find in here. There's a lot of flowers, beautiful flowers of all kinds.
Red Russian tail, purple tail,
Hi. Can I get an apple fritter, please? Thank you. Have a good day. So here at the Pike Place Bakery, got myself an apple fritter. It's huge and was only $4. All right, so now just north of Pike Place where we started our day, progressing on northward, there's a couple of parks that I want to highlight here in Seattle that I wanted to see. The first we're arriving at now, the Olympic Sculpture Park. So gonna check this out. Then we're gonna head up to Kerry Park and see some great views of Seattle from there. So let's go check them out. This here is the Bill and Melinda Gates Amphitheater. Can we all say awkward? that was the Olympic Sculpture Garden. Very neat, very well kept. So now I'm gonna head north of there to Kerry Park, which is about, I think, a mile away from where I am now. So a little bit of a hike on foot, but we're gonna get unparalleled views of the Seattle skyline from there, including the Space Needle. So pretty excited to see what we can see up there. It's like very elevated hike. So if you are going to make this trek, just remember it's a pretty steep one. Alright y'all, so we made it up that hill, which was no joke, but as you can see, a very rewarding view behind me, as you have this very panoramic view of Seattle, the entire Seattle skyline there behind me. Again, this is called Kerry Park, and you definitely want to make it up here, whether you Uber, Lyft, or walk like I did, and am absolutely breathless when you get to the top. You're going to be even more breathless when you take in this view. So let's admire beautiful Seattle, Washington. We went all the way up the hill to get the views. Now we're headed down, but at least we have really good views on the way down. It's very steep on the way down, but at least the view is much better than going up. Now we're gonna head down to Seattle Center, which is actually where the Space Needle is located. Still not time to go up the Space Needle yet. That comes later this afternoon. But just gonna look around there and see some of the area. Seattle Center was actually constructed in 1962 for the World Fair that year when it was held in Seattle. So that's where there's a lot of museums, attractions, of course, the Space Needle, and things of that nature. So we're gonna stop and check that out now. So now entering the grounds of Seattle Center, and there are a couple of theaters here. Here's the Seattle Theater, and then across from here is the Cornish Playhouse. So it looks like there's, in addition to, you know, the attractions in Seattle Center, there's also a lot of theaters and a lot of the arts in this area of Seattle as well. So this over here is normally a giant fountain. See down there in the center where the water comes out, but it's all fenced off right now. I think probably in part due to the ongoing pandemic. Also the trees, some of the larger trees are fenced off as well. They probably don't want folks congregating or getting in those. There's a lot of art, sculptures and things of that nature around. There's also some of the biggest birds I've seen in my life. The seagulls and the crows are absolutely ginormous here. And then back here behind me is Climate Pledge Arena, and there's a lot of construction going on around it right now. So here is the monorail station, the all-weg monorail. The monorail runs from Seattle Center over to Westlake Center, which is in downtown Seattle, right in the middle of downtown. That's actually also the light rail stop for when you're coming into downtown from the airport. So it's also the monorail stop. But you can get on the monorail there and come here to Seattle Center. It says it's closed right now. I'm not sure if it's not operating due to the pandemic or if it's just down for the day. But if you are coming from downtown to Seattle Center to the Space Needle, which is literally right behind me here, then the monorail is an option for you. behind me here now is, of course, the famous Seattle Space Needle, which was placed here in 1962 as part of that World's Fair that was held here in Seattle. Now, I'm not going to go up in it just yet. I do have a reservation for 5 p.m. this evening, and it's only 10:30 p.m. right now. Hopefully the weather is as gorgeous when I'm actually able to go up into it later as it is right now, because the skies are blue, it's clear. It's supposed to be rainy later, so I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that the weather holds up. But stay tuned, we're gonna go up in the Space Needle a little bit later today. But this is where you come. If you're gonna get same day tickets, there are self-service kiosks here. Actually, I'll show you. Right here at the entrance is the self-serve tickets, and that you can also buy tickets here as well. So, I don't know. It'd be cool if I could go up in it now, but I'm not sure if I can change my reservation. But maybe I'll check on that and see if I can go on up now while the weather is as incredible as it is, instead of waiting till later.
Friendly reminder, masks are required beyond this point in compliance with the Washington State mask mandate, regardless of vaccination status.
So I did go to the window and ask, and it was no problem. They said, absolutely, we'll change your ticket. So I'm going up now, and it's 10:45, so a lot earlier than my 5 o'clock. Let's go to the top of the Seattle Space Needle.
Welcome to the elevator, everyone. We're going to head on up at 10 miles per hour. Should take us about 41 seconds to
move so quick is because we have a massive amount of hamsters down in the basement that like to run on treadmills in order to propel us upwards. Right out in front of you, you have the Puget Sound, which is connected to the Pacific Ocean, also known as Elliott Bay. It's around 2,000 feet deep. You can take ferry boats across to the different islands nearby. It's also home to the Great Pacific Octopi. To the right, you have Queen Anne Hill with the 3 radio towers on top. To the left, you have downtown Seattle. Here we are at the top. Remember to keep your mask on.
Like that. From the top of the Space Needle in Seattle. Right about center of the screen right now is where we were earlier, over there at Kerry Park, looking back this way. And you can see over there to the left, right over here, is Pier 91, which is where Carnival cruise ships and a lot of the other major cruise lines dock when they're doing their Alaska sailing. So starting here in just about a month, I think, those ships will start coming into Seattle to resume those cruises. So gorgeous views up here from the top of the Space Needle. So in addition to the observation deck out here, there's also a bar. There's places where you can sit and have drinks. And then there's a staircase here that's going to take you down to the lower level of the observation platform. And there's a glass bottom deck there, so let's go check that out. Not only is it a glass floor, it's also a revolving glass floor. So that's the Seattle Space Needle. Was up there, I think in total about 30 minutes. I didn't stay too long because I do have to go check out of my hotel. Only about 30 minutes, but that's all it took. You see the views that I had. I was able to take in everything. Excellent views up there from the top. Highly recommend that you do that if you have the time. Again, takes as little as 30 minutes. So all that was the Museum of Pop Culture, and tickets for that are $33.75 per person or per adult. Tickets up to the Space Needle, I should say, here are $35 as well. Now there are different add-ons for the other museums and attractions in Seattle Center that you can add on to that. But the base price just to go up in the Space Needle is $35. All right, so it's now 12 p.m. It's time for me to check out of my hotel. I was staying at the Moxy Seattle downtown hotel, and I did a little shot of the room last night, and I'll insert that here. Check out this room. This isn't sponsored or anything. This is just a pretty awesome room. This is the Moxy Seattle downtown, and it's not a huge room, even though I thought this is one of their larger rooms that they offer. The door here, when you walk in, you have the bathroom, shower, the TV mounted on the wall. Here's the bed, the lights. So there's no overhead lighting. It's all lamps and things on the wall. Show you the view back this way. Show you the view of Seattle. I will say that I really enjoyed this hotel. It's a beautiful hotel. It seems newer, but I just love the style of it. It was very quiet. The staff was very helpful, so highly recommend. Thumbs up on the Moxy Seattle downtown location. Now I'm going to actually head downtown, probably catch up with you all in a couple of hours. We've already eaten up about 5 hours of our day in Seattle. Good afternoon. It's now been a couple hours since the last time I talked to you. I did make it downtown and checked into my new hotel room because I am staying again tonight because I have a very early flight tomorrow back home. Just looking at my phone a few minutes ago, it actually said I've already walked 9 miles today. So all that you've already seen is about 9 miles worth of walking. So if you have that on your itinerary, you may want to have some, ride shares or something like that if you're not comfortable with walking like 9 miles, because it's a lot of walking. Check out the view here in this room because it's looking out over north downtown Seattle. So let's flip it around here. There we go. So check that out. Look at that. I'm on the 31st floor of this hotel. But you can see a lot of the city. Here at Olive and 7th, we find Pacific Place, which is right over there. And there is some shopping in there. That's actually sort of an indoor type mall. There's an AMC theater there as well. And there's a lot of shopping in this general district. So over here was the Pacific Place. And as you see up and down this strip, this is 6th Avenue. There's more shops down that way. And then right here across the street, this is Westlake, where you see the Nordstrom. And at Westlake is where you can find the light rail station, which can take you back to Seattle Airport. It's actually, there's the entrance to that. But this is also, Westlake is also an indoor mall with a lot of shops. Now headed back into Pike Place. If you notice already, the amount of people significantly increased compared to what was here this morning. So definitely, if you want to avoid the crowds, come first thing in the morning before everyone else gets down here. This is the famous gum wall of Post Alley, and it's very disgusting because all this that you see is literally bubble gum that folks have plastered all over the wall. Both sides of this alley are just full of bubble gum. Look at this. Look at that. This is disgusting. Not the place that you'd really want to be during a global pandemic.
Yeah, that looks good.
I think we found the culprit of some of it. This business here selling gumballs. Right up there is the wall, and right here's the gumball machine. All right, so now down here, pretty much the southern tip of the waterfront. Just behind me here is the ferry terminal, and you can take a ferry over to the other side of the sound. Now I'm just gonna walk up this strip. There's a lot of shops and restaurants and things of that nature, so just gonna check it out and see what's down here since I didn't make it down here earlier today. So the whole waterfront shtick down there, that you know, that's something I totally could have missed. That felt very touristy and like something you could have done, you know, in any vacation spot, any town. So I don't really like things like that when I go to a new city. I like to have new experiences and try new things. All right, it is now 8 p.m. The sun will soon be setting on our day here in Seattle. Been going since 6:30, 6:45 this morning when I first started. Probably had a good 7 to 8 hours actually out in Seattle today, and all the things that you saw. My Apple Watch actually alerted me that I had my most active day ever since I had my Apple Watch since 2015, I think. Just from walking around Seattle today, I did walk almost 15 miles and all the things that you saw me do. So a lot of walking, but did get to see a lot of the highlights here in Seattle. It's been a great day. I highly enjoyed Seattle. I would absolutely come back. I absolutely recommend it to you to visit. But let me know down in the comments what you thought about Seattle. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe down below because we have more videos coming in this In a Day series. Philadelphia is coming up soon, and at the end of the summer we're going to be going to Nashville. Thank you all so much for watching. From Seattle, I'll see you on the next adventure.